Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. So, guess what we're going to talk about today? All the things you're not supposed to talk about. All right, and what are they? Religion, government, politics, UFOs and aliens, I guess. All right, let's start. Where do we start with all those topics? Are you happy with your life right now? Is everything running the way you like it or want it? Can you change any of those things to make them better? Well, I don't know what that is. All right, so here's the thing. What do we do now? Well, we start somewhere with the first topic is religion. Religion has been here for a very long time. The first religion on this planet, Buddhism, but it wasn't the Buddhism that we know as of right now. It was Hinduism, which became split and became Buddhism. Both of them still exist in a great way. All right, here's the thing. The original religion was brought here somehow. Does anybody really know? How did Hinduism actually start? Why? I mean, before that, what tribal people did was worship animals. And that was the first form of a religion on this planet for humans. I'm not saying aliens. Aliens have been here much longer, came and went. So I'm going to tell you the truth straight out. You don't have to believe anything I say. The next step, I would say, try to prove anything I say to yourself if you don't believe it or want to find out if it's true. Now, I'm going to tell you this because most people believe if they read something, it's important. All right? If you read it in a book, read it on a scroll, read it on a tablet, whatever it is, it's real and it's important. All right? If I carved a stone out today and put it up somewhere, would it be important to anybody? Of course not. So why does it have to be that if it's old, it's important and it's real? All right. Now, the concept of real and true, what does that mean to you? If somebody's talking about a religion and it's in the book or the Bible, the scrolls, the Arancha, books like that. I mean, you go into Muslim religion and their books and stuff. Do you believe any of it? Do you believe all of it? Well, I guess it would depend on what religion you were programmed to believe is real. All right. And that usually starts when you're young by your parents. Very few parents let children go through all the religions to see what they want to follow, which is a good way to start teaching a child how to expand their mind and grow in truth. But the problem is most religions have their dogma. Most teachings have an incredible dogma. So how are you going to move forward? All right, go to church. Is that helping you? Oh, well, on Sundays, it helps you a real lot for the rest of the week. All right, what if it's on Saturday? Does that help you for the rest of the week? Giving money over to the church, does it help you at all? In your ego, in your programmed ego, you think if you give money to a church or to a religion, you're going to get good karma from God. Well, that's not true at all. Money has nothing to do with God. Very few things that you perceive have anything to do with God, which we'll get into. But in religion, some want 20% of your salary. Some want 40% of your salary. I know when I was going to become a born-again Christian, they wanted 40% of my salary to go to the church. And I said, I'll give everything I can. But when it comes to paying my bills, I can pay my bills. When I've got to buy food, I got to buy food. Anything outside of that, I will give. It was after a relationship and everything ended and all that. I was out there mainstream by myself. So I became a born-again Christian. I was going to church 6 days a week, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a night. I was just ready to sign a paper to become a preacher, and I realized that's not where I wanted to go. Ask me why. Because they say you got to do everything in the name of God. Well, how do you do that? Well, and you got to say it. Well, in the name of God, I do this. In the name of God, I do that. In the name of, really? You think God is that vain for a word? Well, most religions make God vain. And we're going to get into that right now. Religions, all of them. Now, there's roughly over 2,000 religions on this planet. Only 2 of them that I know offer anything closer to the truth, and that's really important. Not all the truth, but a lot more information about the truth, which you have to work on. All right. Let me just put one more thing out here. I can't see. My eyes are getting so bad. Don't get old. All right. So here's what happens in life. And your parents are already programming you. How? Even with Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. The real definition of Thanksgiving is lost. The real definition of Christmas is usually lost. And the people that say they have the definition of Christmas, it's only partial truth. So, where's your truth come from? Everybody says they have their truth. Is it useful? Is it beneficial? Does it help you? Does it make you survive any better than if you didn't have your so-called truth? Well, in religion, you go to church one day a week, pray, give some money away, and then you feel good about it. I mean, Catholics and Protestants are a lot different. I mean, I studied many religions. I studied anywhere between 14 and 16 religions along the way. I'm sorry, I'm going to sneeze. And I just had it. All right, sorry about that. No, there's something in the air right now that's making me sneeze. The past couple days. All right. When you're 4 years old and you're told about Christmas and you believe you want toys, it stays that way for a couple of years. Truthfully, what is it about? Jesus, God, religion, or toys or presents? Guess what? Then when they talk about the tooth fairy, losing your tooth is not fun, but getting money for it is. All these little things were programmed to accept when we're little. Do they help you understand religion? Do they help you understand God? Do they help you understand life? No. Now, religious people have certain ways they're supposed to live. Very few people can live by their own religion. I don't care what religion it is. Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, Hasidic, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, even Voodoo. Shamanism, I mean, is a religion in a way. Voodoo is a pretty hardcore path. Santeria is another so-called spiritual path. Now, what they do is based on the programming of the people involved with it. In religion, if you don't like something, you change it. Make it fit to your reality that you want it to be in. All right, now let's start with Christianity. It all started when Jesus was born. All right. Then Easter, when he was risen after he was killed. So that's one teaching. Is it real? Yes, it is. Can I prove it? I can tell you it's real. I'll put my life on the line any given second for that. I'll die for that. As we move along in this today, I want you to understand I only talk about my direct experience, my personal experience, things that I know are truth to every reality. All right. And I'll go into all those reasons later when we start talking about spiritualism. But in religion, they all have their dogma laws that you have to live by. Who is the biggest creator of the laws? Moses was. Please don't go into the story about the Anunnaki. I don't even want to hear it. You want to call in and say something, go right ahead, but I'm not going to agree with you or let you brainwash people into the lies. There's people out there that still think the earth is flat. People that think, wait, let's go. Well, let's not go there. Let's stick with religion right now. Right? You're programmed by your parents. You become Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, Hasidic Jewish person's a lot different than Jewish people are. Okay, you become a Muslim, become whatever you call yourself. What are you learning? How to pray. Most paths, no matter which one you choose or pick, use the word prayer and praying. Praying to God. All right? Praying to a source. Well, how about praying to yourself? Well, when you pray to yourself, you're talking to yourself, which is fine. When you think you're praying to God and telling God what to do, then you're delusional. I don't care what path you follow. When you think you can tell God what to do or what not to do, you're living in a fantasy world. The truth is, most people live in that world all the time. They believe their prayers are changing the world. They believe this is changing that. Look at the world right now. If you haven't read the Bible from cover to cover, which I'm sure you didn't and probably never will, well, the Bible's all lies. Well, so it's just about any other book you pick up. The Emerald Tablets, I have to say the Emerald Tablets are probably the closest to the truth during that time frame. Then you got the Sumerian Tablets, which are twisted truth by the people that wrote it. Now, the difference between two, they're talking about a lot of different time frame differences. The oldest path, the only time planet Earth was in its most spiritual point in the history of this planet was during when? Do you have a clue? Do you have an idea? Well, it was called Atlantis. Before that, I'm not saying there weren't religions and paths and all those things before it, but they weren't human. Races were here. Aliens were here. Call them what you want. They all came and went. And how many of them are actually playing with us now? Considering they worked and played and did everything with people in those days. Why is that? Either you have to come up with some kind of scenario with your truth. They either accept us as nothing, useless zombies walking around the planet, or just holding on to us to use us for something someday, whatever that may be. All right. Well, let's go beyond that point, because now you're in a religion, in a path, and you start breaking down the laws that you supposedly have. Now, who gave Atlantis laws? I'll tell you, there weren't laws there. There were no super leaders there either. There was one being who was twisted and molding into the Anunnaki story in the book of Enoch, Enu, and all those kind of people. But it's all twisted lies. Please, you want to believe it? Go right ahead. See where it gets you. See if it can help you. See if it'll help you move forward in any way. Oh, well, you're going to come back and help us? Really? To do what? They couldn't do anything with us then. They destroyed the human consciousness. They didn't change our bodies, didn't change our DNA, people. They did not. Not at that time. We didn't come from cavemen. We didn't come from the Neanderthal. We didn't come from all those races that were here. They are not considered human. Human-like, yes, but humans, no, they were not. And we heard the story of the missing link when we were young, and it still exists today. There's no connection between the both. You have to believe me. Now, I'm going to get into things you should be learning. I don't want to get too much in one way and the other, but I'll just say this. Reincarnation is real. Out-of-body experiences are real. Traveling in the astral body is real. So they're things you should be thinking about, not saying, well, they're not real, they're not important, or they don't exist. Well, in this reality, when you're moving along in your childhood and you're being programmed one thing after another, we got a lot of roosters in the neighborhood. I'm in Hawaii. It should be the national bird. So here we are. We're moving along in programmed ideas of the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, God, Jesus, and everything else. Until you're how old? Until your parents think you're too old to play that game anymore. So then what do? They take all those things away from you, except God. They usually leave you with that word. Well, Santa Claus isn't real, the Easter Bunny's not real, the Tooth Fairy's not real, Superman's not real, God's real. Oh, how's a child perceive that? Understand this is not real anymore, and that still is. So you mean you lied to me half of my childhood? For what reason? Well, to make you feel good. Feelings have nothing to do with spirituality. We'll get into that as we move along from religion. But religions are the number one reason for probably almost all the wars we had on this planet. Countries thinking the leaders are into some kind of a religion programmed idea. Talk about Russia, China, Japan. I mean, all those had their ideas of their belief system, which was not beneficial. It was not. Everything man has done since Atlantis went down has brought man nowhere. The way I describe that, the only thing that changed in all that time is the toys man plays with. Nothing else. Not the way they think, not the way they act. But in Atlantis, and I'm aware of being in Atlantis in one of my first lives on this planet. Well, we didn't talk much. You didn't have to. You had 32 psychic abilities, which still exist at some level in the astral plane, and very few souls can touch any part of them, really. Small parts, people can, but that's about it. So when you touch upon that, Atlantis, we can perceive everybody's, what they're thinking, feeling, and all that. You didn't have to say, well, how are you today, or anything. You could see it, and you would smile, or whatever the reason is, if you really wanted to talk and do something constructive together. We didn't have to say, well, grab that, do that. You just know it and do it. It wasn't, we had to speak all that stuff to each other. The same as when we wanted things to move things and all that. We didn't have to use machines and everything else. We didn't have wings. We didn't need them. All right. Atlantis was beautiful. Everything on the planet at that time frame was healthy. When the Earth recycles itself, shaking everything off of it and starting new, like it did with each of the races that were here way before us, it cleans itself off. Has a natural way to do that. It won't do it forever, but it will do it for a much longer period of time than most of us are going to live. All right, so where do you want to go? Do you want to follow a religion? Yes, my parents say I got to. So when you get into religion, what are you reading about? What are you studying about? What do you care about? What's religion tell you to care about? Your wife, your children, friends, family, starving people, homeless people, murderers. Where's it stop? Where's it keep going? And what is the reasoning behind that? Well, one of my books, my last book, which is the most important book I ever wrote, and I'm going to try to make it so I could give it away, The True Teachings of Jesus from God Realization. Now, I didn't put it out because I wanted to. I had to. And why everybody said, well, I had to release this. Most people are releasing things that are not going to help mankind ever. Inventions, technology, and words aren't going to help mankind. Until each individual person who has a soul which you are, that soul within this body, has to become aware of itself. It has to know what it really is, not based on science, not based on people's ideas, based on your own experience. If you have no experience, you can't talk about it. Hold on, let me just answer this one question here. Oh, somebody asked for Jesus to send them money to their bank account. Jesus never claimed to be God. Get that straight, all you Christians out there. Even if you're not a Christian, attacking Jesus, you're only attacking yourself. Jesus brought a teaching which was never accepted or understood to this day, and that's why I put the book out. Jesus didn't come here to preach he was God, to forgive everybody. He wasn't a karma-freeing person. He didn't come and free everybody's karma. Man created that. Jesus told his disciples to leave their families. If you didn't read the Bible, you don't know much about what was said about Jesus, never mind who he really was. He never, ever said he was God. You can read the Bible, you'll find one sentence in there where he says, I am that. All right, he didn't mean what people perceive it to mean because they didn't understand his language. He used the word father. God's not a father, but they use the word father because man has no conception of what a God could be or is. All right. Well, somebody wants to ask the questions. Let me just finish this and you ask the questions, please. All right. Jesus was a man, the most spiritual person, singular person to walk this planet. Buddha? No. Muslim religions came from, guess who? An angel, Gabriel. All right. Angels weren't spiritual teachers. They were bringers of information and protection in certain events. When Noah was told to build the ark, when Sodom and Gomorrah were told to leave the city and never look back, all those kind of things. They weren't here teaching them. They didn't open up a school, come to angel school, come to St. Michael's school, Gabriel, and all the other ones. There's only 9 angels mentioned in the whole Bible. Revelation mentions a lot more, but not by name. So, I know people like to put down religion, and that's your choice. You'll never understand truth if you don't understand each aspect of life and how it created and programmed mankind to accept what they believe in. I just want to read what they said. Never believed in a religion. I always thought it's a man-made up story to bring fear into people. All right, and they're using that word now, fear. The only thing, and I'll tell you this straight out, all right, the only thing you should fear is God itself, not people. All right, here's a reason. Soul doesn't die. All right, it reincarnates either to this realm or to a higher realm. Now, I can go into all that, but I will when I get into spiritualism. But as far as religion, all right, when I learned about different things, I had multiple experiences going on in my life to prove things to myself. And you need to do that. I mean, nobody's going to believe in God. Nobody's going to believe in anything until they experience something pertaining about it or with it. If I tell you I could fly, you're not going to believe it until you see me fly. So what I'm telling you, you want the experiences. There's certain things you have to learn in this reality. One of them is called, I use the word soul travel. Learning how to travel outside of the body. Astral projection is the first level of soul travel, which is very important, yes. I can go into that experience. I'll go into it a little bit later. If you stick around, you might hear it. But here's the thing. We each take steps in our spiritual growth if we ever decide to move forward. If you don't become spiritual. You don't become aware, and you reincarnate over and over. Why do you think so many souls are reincarnating now more than ever? More souls coming in and leaving. And they're back into the starting point of knowing nothing. Not about aliens, not about creatures or demons and all that. Not saying they all don't exist. They all do exist. And that just makes it that much harder for the average person to move forward. Because most people now gave up on God because they didn't get their gold brick put in their stocking, and because they are not aware of the truth. They're programmed to believe all these horrible things, stupid things, ignorant things, such as, all the concepts of fasting on Friday and praying and ask for forgiveness for your sins and doing Hail Marys and all those simple words. That was fear. But it wasn't created by the religion. And Jesus didn't create the religion in the first place. Man did. When we go back to the Hinduism, they were working with, there's two words I use. Okay, deities, and I say little gods. Little gods meaning they got God powers of the realm that they dwell in. And there's multiple levels that soul goes through to get to the soul awareness state in the soul plane. But it goes from this physical realm to the astral plane, and from there it usually comes back here. That's what religion created. All right. Atlantis, the souls, let me just say, in Atlantis there were 9 races. 5 of them became spiritual right away and left. So that left 4 colored tribes here. And my biggest fear is being without my family after death. Well, you're 18 and all you worry about is death. And why am I here? I would love to believe in heaven, but I think it's a lot of bull. All right. Now, here's the thing. After you have your first out-of-body experience, you'll understand what soul is. Without it, you may never. So what I will say, you have to learn the techniques, or one technique that can help you experience an out-of-body experience. There's a path called Kunlun. It'll give you a death experience, which is probably one of the first steps. He teaches around the world. He's an incredible teacher. I studied with him for a couple of years, few years. And I was one of his one of the few people that were teaching with him, under him. But it'll give you a death experience. In a month's time, women usually get it in within a day or two, and men usually get it within a month or two. After you have that experience, it opens the door. At least you can look through it instead of looking at a door that's closed solid. All right, fear is, I'm not going to say you don't have it. If I was afraid, the only thing I was ever afraid of probably in all my life was losing my girlfriend, losing my wife, and things like that. But like you're saying, your family, well, and this is going to sound really harsh. Almost all religions program you, make you believe you'll meet with your family. All right. Soul reincarnates a lot, meaning hundreds of times. So whatever family you leave this time, you'll come back to start a new family. You're not going to come back to the same family 90%. Well, between 80 and 90% of the time, you will not come back to the same family, but you can. Attachment, which keeps soul on this planet reincarnating over and over. Fear, again, should only be of God. But if you understand God, you'll understand there's nothing to be afraid of at all. Satan, demons, all those kind of words. Dying will give you an incredible experience. I had 5 death experiences, and then I spent 30, 40, up to 45 years learning how to travel in the inner worlds and getting out of the astral plane and going into the higher worlds. It only gets better. I promise you, with every breath that I can talk and speak from, the more you learn about spirit or soul, what you are, the better you'll feel about everything else that comes your way. No, you don't go back in the past when you reincarnate. I'm going to let you say, I'm not going to let you believe science is telling you anything close to the truth about it, about the alternate realities, alternate worlds, the double dimensions, the opposite side of this dimension is the opposite of us, and all those things. That's all. If you ever watched the movie The Matrix, it's probably just like The Matrix if you want to live in it. Meaning you'll never understand God, you'll never understand death, and you'll never understand what your purpose as a soul really is. Now, just if you're going to leave or anything, I have one book out, The Truth, How to See God. It's my first book. Text me. I will give you the book as an ebook to read. How to See God. I wrote it many years ago, but it's a good starting point. Just email Hawksblood1, HAWKSBLOOD1 at AOL.com, and I'll send you an ebook of my first book. But there's things you need to learn and at least accept. You have to be willing to put yourself on a line somewhere and take a stand in what you can experience. If you can't experience anything, you need to keep trying. That's why I'm saying if you have a death experience, even if it's forced by like a technique, it's beneficial. Astral projections. I mean, I had mine. I wasn't asking for it or wanted it. It just happened. But I was in a class of these people that were trying to do it. So it's a matter of chanting sounds and closing your eyes and a lot of different things. I mean, we can go into that. Text me, Skype me. We could talk about it directly. I'm willing to help anybody that's looking forward to moving from the lower level to a higher level. And my email is hawksblood1@aol.com, but my Skype is hawksblood11. All right, I'm basically all over the internet on the Hawksblood1. But please, don't ever give up. Don't ever stop looking. And don't ever listen too hard to anybody else. The stuff they're going to fill you up with, the lies and stories, nothing to fear. When soul steps out of the body, you wouldn't even care about that body. And you're not even going to want to go back into it. 90% of the time you have to. I mean, like I said, I have 5 death experiences. Only one on the 5th one was I allowed to stay out if I wanted to. All right. Because you have to finish learning the things, because if you're going to die and go to a higher level, you're going to have to know what you're going to do when you get there and how to do things. You don't want to start off as a kindergarten baby and not know anything. So the learning starts here. Hold on. Anytime. Thanks for stopping in. It was a pleasure. If you got any more questions, feel free. Text book. So again, thank you for even stopping in. People, when we talk about the programmed ideas that religion creates, the fear that it creates, everything we do is created out of fear. Love isn't as real as people think it is either. I mean, more problems on this planet happen from love than fear. Fear, you just hide in a shell. When you love somebody and your partner cheats on you or something like that happens, you become an angry person and usually causes more problems than not. So fear is one thing, love is another. Both of them are 2 words that keep mankind in the physical reality. Love of God, if you can even understand that if there is a God, how do I love it? And that takes a lot more than just a couple words to get you to understand that. Especially when most people don't even want to come to a point where they can even perceive what a God really is. And it's much more than what man perceives it to be. It's not an energy force. Like the twist now is to make everybody believe we're all one consciousness. And part of that blame was from Buddha. Buddha never went past the astral plane, meaning the oneness state. Well, it's all energy. No, it's not. We move differently spiritually in ways that most other people will not understand, but each one has a particular way to grow within that. And in those things, when you grow within that, only help you become aware of who and what you really are. Religions teach about dogmatic things on planet, trying to make rules on how to be in love, how not to be in love, how to eat, how to do things that have nothing to do with soul. Soul moves out of the body. It's not attached to the nervous system of the body. The nervous system, feelings, touch, smell, all those kind of things. Sorry. Do not maintain any relevance when you get into the astral plane. Because you take the brain, leave it there. Take your heart, leave it there. Take your body, leave it there. So then what are you? That's what you have to understand and learn to understand what you are as that, not what you are as this. You lose your arms, your legs, you can't get around, can't do anything. Close your eyes. You can go anywhere, do anything. I'm going to do a couple of shows on dreams real soon, probably next week. what happens in that state and what you can do and what you can learn as well. But when it comes to religion, the Bible was programmed by 16 people that created it, and they took only the stories that they can use to help program people. Now, a lot of Jesus's followers and disciples wrote books and wrote different things. Mary Magdalene's manuscripts, Judas's manuscripts, Peter's manuscripts, all of them had their personal own manuscripts that weren't put in the Bible. They took parts of what they wanted that they can use to feel that they can say this person taught how to be this, whatever they wanted them to be. It's always been about control. After Atlantis went down, I hate to use the word, the Anunnaki were the ones that trying to reprogram our thinking, not our DNA or anything, just that we need to kill and abuse and rape and all those kind of words, which didn't exist. Atlantis lived incredible until they were being attacked, and then the riots and fights and everything, weapons and all that came out and destroyed Atlantis. Well, after that, mankind became warring, evil creatures. Nothing better than a tiger, a lion, or a bear. Eating, killing, destroying. We don't do anything beneficial to the earth. We don't do anything beneficial for children. And even when I was young, the Boy Scouts was a really cool thing. Except there was things going on then that nobody brought out as any attention on it. Then right now, the biggest lawsuit going on in the United States for that kind of a thing is against the Boy Scouts. And I'm sure it's no different in the Girl Scouts. The Pope's involved with the same problem. So I will say this before I leave religion. Mankind has 5 things that keep them here and keep them locked into religion and the programs of this reality. Lust, greed, anger, vanity, and the worst of them, attachment, meaning you're attached to this world, attached to your family, attached to your children, attached to your car, plane, boat, whatever. You can be attached to anything. It's called attachment. And you want to come back to rebuild, to do this, You can't help your children when you die. Remember that. Not going to be able to walk them to school, protect them, not going to be able to do anything for them. Oh, my angels protect me. Well, if angels are protecting everybody, why are people getting shot, killed, murdered, run over? Little kids in the houses getting shot at and killed. All those little things. No, it's not like that. It's a programmed idea that does not fit into reality. Well, I just want to move into, okay, should we talk about the weather now? Or should we talk about sports? No. Skid out. Hold on 1 second. Let me just close the window 1 second, please. Man, sorry about that. I hope it's not too loud over the show. But people in the neighborhood are working and they're fighting. So let's move from religion to spiritualism. Now, I got an all-out debate on almost every speaker out there, and I wrote them 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times. I'll say a few names. All right. People that are alive. I can't complain to people that are dead. Deepak Chopra. Eckhart Tolle. All right. Now, in the spiritual world, they're considered one of the top two spiritual speakers. Then you got the Pope, who's a very evil person. And then you got, the president doesn't fit into any of that. But then you got the Dalai Lama. Do they show any psychic abilities? No, they don't. Do they give anything back to the world that can help the world? Feelings and emotions for a short period of time. Buddhism was kind of split in Tibetism between China and Tibet. And China tried destroying Tibet completely, and they almost did. They killed so many lamas, raped so many women, destroyed over 250 temples. It's a horrible story. But again, it's religion, nothing to do with God. Based all about praying to deities. Deities are real, but mankind in general, meaning 98%, probably never get to be with a deity. You can pray to God, you can pray to Jesus, you can pray to anything you want. But when it comes back to you to teach you something, it's a totally different story. All right. And that story means actually giving you experiences and taking you and showing you and teaching you. So I worked with a deity when I was young. Didn't know who it was for many years, from the time I was 5 till I was 11. Same time I got involved in the UFO world. But deities, I call them little gods because they work at a certain level. And their main goal is to make sure nobody goes past that level until they're ready to go past that level. I mean, if you're in kindergarten, they're not going to let you go to college next year. You're in college, they're going to put you out in the workforce, hopefully, if you learn something that's useful. But you don't go from grade school to high school without learning something. But those things you're learning have nothing to do with God, nothing to do with spirituality, and nothing to do with being a real human being. All right. So schooling is useless unless you want to become a programmed machine to do something. Even a doctor, cut somebody's heart out, replace it. Cut somebody's heart out, replace it, or something like that. Is it beneficial to our ego and to us staying on this planet, which most people want to do? Is it the right thing? Of course not. Do we need to stay here? No, we don't. You need to rise in awareness, and then you can leave. It's simple. Why am I still here? I'm holding on for very few reasons, and one of them is my partner. But I made sure she'll be all right if I die tomorrow. And if I do, I can't do anything else for her. So what am I supposed to do? Nothing. Money isn't the answer for anything ever. It helps in the moment, but does it ever help in the long run, down the road and things like that? Food does. Without food, you die right away. I mean, without money, you could still, like in Hawaii, you could walk the streets and get fruit and vegetables and all kinds of things everywhere hanging and things like that and survive. But we have to look at it this way. Spiritualism is not what we perceive it to be for most people, because they can't perceive it to be anything other than I'm a good person, and programming yourself to believe that. What does spiritual mean? Oh, I pick somebody up when they fall down. I help when I can. Help what? Help somebody move along in a world that's not moving anywhere. We're not moving forward in any way except making toxic things, dangerous things, and destroying everything we have. Tell me what you find spiritual in that. Child abuse has been the highest it has ever been in such horrible high numbers. Woman abuse is just as high. And religions that pacify it and accept it, like the Muslim religion, the Pope and people like that say, okay, well, let's not look at it, or it's okay. Nothing's okay. The truth is, you can't follow anybody else's twisted morals. If you're a Christian, you need to abide by your own rules, or don't be a Christian. You're a Muslim, you follow your rules, even no matter how bad or wrong they are. Killing is never justified, ever. No matter how mad, angry, disgusted, whatever your reasoning is not a justified reason to kill somebody else. Karma comes back to everybody. And God doesn't take that away, because you have to learn and understand where it came from. Your boss is probably a little bit more richer than you in most cases. Thank you for your comment, Frankie. Look, Mr. Okay, here comes a bunch of the freaking weirdos. Sorry, people. You can believe whatever you want because you don't have anything to believe in or understand or know. If you ever had a death experience, some things would change. All right? But you won't move into that space because you don't deserve to have that space. You deserve to live with the animals on this planet and stay there. All right? Say that to Buddha. Say it to people that know what reincarnation is and things. You have no clue. You never experience your reincarnation from what life and whatever. You're just in a world where you're programmed to believe nothing. I had 5 death experiences. All right? So when you say, well, I did, and I actually spent 40 years traveling outside of my body and proving it to myself. Once in a while, I prove it to somebody else. But it's not a game, and it's not to prove anybody else anything. A death experience isn't a mistake. It's an important thing because it helps you understand what you are. If you don't have it, you will never understand what soul is. You can read books on it and dream about it, but you won't be able to experience it until you have the experience. Experience comes from having a death experience, stepping out of your body, and seeing what's going to happen when you actually let go of the physical body. Blood sugar, 4 years traveling outside your body. Well, did it help you? I sure hope it did. And what did it help you? Did you meet with angels? Did you meet with anything higher, deities? Most people don't even know what a deity is. Most people never went past the astral plane. Do you know what the silver cord is? If you don't, you need to find out what it is and how real it is. Anybody that leaves their body, take your necklace off. Really? Did I ask you how I look? Am I asking, do I care what you think? I'm not talking to please somebody. You know, it's amazing. What day is today? It's a good day for weird people to come out. See, if you don't believe in God, what purpose do you have for anything? You got zero purpose to even be talking. What reason do you have to talk to me? Why don't you go into another site where people like to listen to brain dead people that have nothing to say, nothing important to say, nothing to help people move along to get out of this world, which is so full of hatred and anger and fear and sickness and disease. He, and it's not a he. God was never a he or a she, so even that you can't even understand. So, you know, people, if you don't like what you're hearing, please leave. I'll let you stay there because something might soak into the void of a brain within inside your head. But that's okay. I'm not a friendly person. Not no more. I watch what man does to each other, what man does to children, what man does to women. It's a horrible world right now. And it hasn't gotten better. And it didn't get better since Jesus left the planet. Oh, Jesus was real, whether you want to believe that or not. Buddha was real. I mean, there was a lot of spiritual people that took on the word spiritual through many people that followed him, like even Sai Baba. Do you know anything about him even? Do you know anything about a lot of the more important spiritual people that existed and came and went? Most of them were killed, believe it or not. And because people don't want to know something that they don't know. Don't want them talking about something that they don't perceive is true. Why do you think they killed the most spiritual person on the planet, meaning Jesus? Why do you think they killed Gandhi? He helped reform a nation. I mean, Buddha would have been killed. I mean, even the Dalai Lama would have been killed when he was young. But they have he has a psychic that reads for him, told him to leave his home and go across the mountains that night, and he did. They raided and destroyed most of Tibet at that time. So psychics are real. Most of them are not. I mean, they're real to a certain level, depending how much you want to get from a psychic. A healer, do you believe in healers? Of course not. Why should you? Because they're not real. They're mind-controlling people. They make you believe something happened or something came. Well, I was on crutches, now I'm not on them. Karma is still there. You can believe that karma doesn't exist. That's your truth. But when you find out when you're getting nowhere in life and you're going to die on your dying bed, sit there and go, God's not real. And so are you not. So what are you going to do? Disappear into the ethers and become dust in the wind? Well, that's your choice. And maybe that's where you want to go. You know, people that have no awareness, which is many, don't want awareness. And that's why I said people don't know what spiritual even means. When you face a deity, which very few souls on this planet ever did, all right, when you face the higher realms, you face the highest deity, which is on the soul plane, where soul dwells when it attains full awareness. All right, and the people are using the word ascension, another word that they don't ever attain. Only a few souls on this whole planet through all of history ever attained ascension. Ascending, everybody does, except souls that get stuck in the physical world. Guess you don't believe in ghosts, spirits, demons, entities, all those words either. Well, you're living in a la la land that everything's as solid as you believe it to be. And then even the greatest scientists are only coming to the point where they realize something incredibly greater had to create life. And it's not by mutation. Mutation never gets better constantly. And what happened to the soul, the human person, only perceived has the perfect system, perfect body, perfect machinery that keeps it doing everything, if it's not poisoned from outside itself. And that means other people trying to destroy your body, which has happened since we were little. But the idea of how old we live and all those kind of things, it came out of that. But, you know, all right, spiritualism, please, you know, when you don't know anything, you shouldn't be talking. Wow, you caught me live? No, you caught me dead. I'm dead. I'm not here. You're talking to yourself. You're talking to nothing. What makes you think you're alive? Maybe how do you know you're not in somebody's sick dream? And you probably are. You know, the idea of the Matrix, I tell people to watch it just to figure out where they think they are within that. And the understanding of a God, which isn't really in that Matrix. But listen to all the top speakers on the planet in science, in religion, in spiritualism. And not one of them could even talk about a God. Do you know that? Because they never had an experience with it. Except conversations with God, a person I've been challenging for a couple of years now. And he's got no balls to come out and debate me or even talk to me about it. Because God doesn't talk to people, which man believes they do. Because it's not a person. It's not a man sitting up there. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do that today. Concept of God is limited, programmed, and it was all created by Mr. Moses way back when. And it came out of a burning bush of this reality. Really? I got a picture I shot of a burning bush that wasn't really burning. But, you know, it's on, I don't want to get into it. You know, we talk about things, I talk about things that I have experienced. Things not that I don't believe in, things that I don't care about. I don't want to talk about them. Why should I? If I didn't experience it, I wouldn't talk about it. I met a Bigfoot. I was a foot away from one. There was an alien in my house. I had my friend over my house, and we were chasing it with sticks, and the ship took off. I mean, that's when I was young. I mean, I can go into all those stories. Do I believe it's real? Of course I do. Were we doing drugs? Were we any of those kind of things? No. Having a death experience, waking up in the hospital and coming back into the body. I had an operation in front of a doctor in New York City. He died when he was 45, but he was a top surgeon in Lenox Hill Hospital. He did Catfish Hunter, Rod Stewart, all the famous people. And right before my operation, I said, I can't do it on that day. He said, okay, we'll change it. After the operation, I came out wide awake before I should have. And he goes, that's impossible. Go back to sleep. I said, no, I'm wide awake. Oh, you can't be. And then I said, look, I saw the whole operation. And he goes, well, how could you see that? And I told him, he goes, I don't believe you. I said, he goes, I want to come to your room. He came to my room. Before he died, he actually had to understand what I was saying because I told him what happened, that he said there was no possible way I could have known anything about it. Well, bad day, call it whatever you want. Good, bad day. As long as you're in hell, it's not going to get any better. You're going to see good things and bad things happening every day, all day long. And Mr. Trump's going to make sure that happens. Make sure that nobody moves forward and try to destroy everything that's there. He already destroyed everything good on the planet that was trying to help the planet stay healthy, from the birds to the animals to the ocean to the ground. Fracking is evil. Coal burning is just as bad right now. I don't know if you know weapons like the HARP system. If you don't, I think you better get a job. If you don't know what chemtrails are, you better get a life. I mean, all the things that are affecting the planet greatly, destroying it, not in any beneficial way. The DEW, directed energy weapons, which the United States is using right now on the United States. Check it out. You might think I'm brain dead, whatever you want. That's a good choice. But the world's being destroyed greatly every day, and that's why God in itself is going to allow certain deities and things in the lower realm to recreate this world again before we completely destroy it. And we're working really hard at that. I didn't shoot your head off because you said hi. Read the things that you were putting out there, things that people are saying. All right? God doesn't exist in your mind. Maybe your mother and father don't exist, but do they? You would have never got here. Immaculate conception, an idea, accepted, but it's not real. So, I mean, there's a show on TV. How did they get pregnant? They're 8 months pregnant, and they don't know that they're pregnant. Guess what? You had sex somewhere along the way or something like that happened, and you just don't want to accept it. Or you were asleep. Who knows? But it happened. Jesus had brothers, and he had a sister. But again, when we talk about what's happening right now, the world's crashing. We're hitting an all-time serious point where it will be destroyed again. I know people don't want to believe in the Bible, but Revelations talks about it. The eighth sign, which was made into multiple movies. If you ever heard of Mother can't even say her name, a woman in the Catholic religion, Fatima, came out and gave a bunch of prophecies of what's going to happen, and they're all right on. So there's things that were foretold and it constantly being told, like even if you believe in Sodom and Gomorrah, oh no, that's a stupid story, everything's stupid stories. Well, do you understand what the white man did to the native people? That's the most horrible story ever written in the United States. And nobody understands what went down because they won't admit it and won't talk about it and won't face the truth of what they did. So you can believe the lies of people, men, and ignorance of these great so-called speakers charging lots of money. I do this. I pay to do the show. I don't make money on it. I don't want to make money on it. I just want to put truth out there for people that are ready to move forward, becoming spiritually aware, not brain dead or zombies or programmed fools like in the UFO world, which I'll get into. I guess we got a few minutes to do with that. But in the UFO world, the speakers out there, Corey Goody, David Icke, David Wilcock, listen to them speak. I'm crazy? Really? And they talk about things they have no right talking about. Things they don't even know about, which they say they do. And how do I know? Because when a person talks about a rainbow body, and this is something that might wake you up a little, check out how a llama goes through their rainbow body. And it's real, provable. Not like every alien abduction and every other story. I do a show every Tuesday with a woman that's been being abducted most of her life. She has more proof than anybody else that I know in the abduction world in the past 25 years. About 35, 40 years ago, I met 3 women that all had their children taken away. They were pregnant. They went to the hospital. They were 8.5 months pregnant. They were doing sonograms, and the next day they were completely void of a child. So, I mean, there's proof of things that they can't talk about. The woman I do the show with, her story about being operated on, they took something out of her. She went to court to get the pictures, the vid that they film every operation in England, and they won't give it to her. They said it's too controversial. Her own body, they took something out of it, and they won't let her see it. So, you know, there's a lot of truth out there, but there's much more lies, and the lies keep people in a void state, in ignorance, like history. Oh, well, ancient aliens and ancient... Well, there was a lot of different creatures, beings, and things that ruled this planet at one time. And funny, they're all gone. Don't you think that's a little bit funny? with all their super abilities, super technology, and everything else, and they're gone. Or they're going to come back and save us. Why would they even want to do that? All right. We can twist the truth any way we want, put it in a box, make it be, and say we can call it whatever we want it to be. The truth will always be there if you want it, and it doesn't have to be if you don't want it. You can live in a good or a bad day, but as long as you live in hell, it will never be a great day. And I'll tell you this, and this is from direct experience. The further you get away from the physical reality, meaning the astral plane, causal plane, etheric plane, move up into the soul plane, you'll never realize how fantastic, how incredible soul can move into a greater consciousness awareness and in a being space. And until you have that, you're going to think holding on to this ignorant body that's getting old and deteriorating is the most important thing you have. Next to watching yourself grow old and your children grow old as well. If you want to live to 150, you'll see your children die. You'll see people around you or everybody you love die. Is that what people want? Of course it is. Because not everybody is going to ever live to 200 years old. Not anymore. And the people that are buying the so-called pill that makes you live 40 years, it costs $70,000, $80,000. You're going to be able to buy one tomorrow? The insurance policy is not going to pay for it. What do you want out of life? You should be more concerned of what you want out of death, because you're going to die, period. No matter what you eat, no matter what you drink, no matter what you smoke, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you're going to die. But dying without awareness is the most horrible thing. People with dementia and lose who they are is a horrible way to die. Not knowing who you are when you die, how are you going to know what's going on after? Well, you wouldn't, and you don't. Reincarnation is so important because it helps you understand the steps soul had to go through to get where it is right now. And most people don't even look at that as anything important. Well, when we die, we die. Okay, that's your life. Fine. Go nowhere when you die. But having somewhere to go is much more better. Excuse me. Sorry about that. They believed in the old age spirits were coming out of your body when you sneezed. All right. Well, I want to go into the UFO world a little bit. Since I have direct experience, I filmed UFOs here in Hawaii a lot. And it's becoming super popular around the world right now because people have cameras. People can see it. People are seeing things. I can't even say the things that I saw over the past couple weeks. I'm not allowed to. Well, that's a cover. No, it ain't. Not for me. But life's not about making anybody else believe something. It's a matter of proving to yourself what's real and what's not. All right. When you find out what you are as soul, all right, you'll realize so many things. How this is a program and you're stuck in it and you don't need to be. Does that mean go out and die? No, it means finish up your karma, which exists. So you don't have to come back. And no, all the storytellers that say, well, you come back whenever you want, do it, be whoever you want. Really? So 90% of the planet's starving and homeless and abused and all that. So you mean to tell me you reincarnated like 100 times, you're aware of it all, and I'm going to come back and become a homeless person again? Like the UFO world. Well, I chose to come back and be abducted by aliens. Really? For what reason? Mankind has sunken so low. What's destroying human race is called morals. We used to use that word a lot when we were little. We had morals. And what is a moral? Ask your child what morals are. Oh, I shouldn't lie. Ask him what another one is. I shouldn't steal. Ask him what another one is. See if you can even get 5 out of them. We have many morals. But do we know any? Do we practice any? Do religions practice any of them? Abortion isn't moral, immoral. Soul has the right to do whatever it wants. But there are conditions. God gives soul free will when it's able to do what it needs to do in the right way in any given moment. And how do you choose that? understanding soul talking rather than the mind. The mind is a program, people. It's not real. It's not a consciousness of a group consciousness of a bunch of ignorant people. You want to be one with the consciousness of the human race? Who on this planet? I mean, I can't find one person I want to be in harmony with, because very few people, no people, understand God at any level or want to. Again, going back to the top scientists, the Japanese person said, yeah, there has to be a higher creating some kind of form. And he never came to that realization until rather recently. Because he always said that souls just mutate. Mutation means mutating, not becoming better. And we have the perfect system, which we're destroying by chemicals and everything else we put in it. All right. You know, this is the first time I ever got reject email, but that's fine. I mean, there's people out there that don't understand anything or want to. And that's their choice. But you know, when you attack somebody, if you're going to attack somebody, make sure you have the right defense. Make sure you know what you're talking about. Because you don't believe something doesn't mean it's not real. I was a witch when I was 16. I learned about 32 psychic abilities, but I only do 30 of them. I never did the other 2. But they're all real. But you can't use them in this world. It would destroy the world instantly. If you could perceive the future for 1 minute, you can change the reality of the whole planet. Go to the casino, win every casino, take all their money, build something, do it over again. Just being able to see the future for 1 minute, not 10 years, 50 years, 1,000 years into the future, when you're not even going to be here. Does that help anybody? Oh, in 50 years from now, the goddess is going to come down and kill the devil and we're all going to be happy. Really? Happy to do what? Mankind doesn't know what happiness is until he experiences God. In any form, in any way. Jesus never said he was God. Jesus doesn't want all that, whatever you want to call it, stored energy from people thrown on him, like he has to take care of it all. He didn't come here to do that. Man made their ideas for that to be true. Now, when Jesus was killed, there was one person still here that had his abilities. And it was a female. Her name was Mary Magdalene. She had all the psychic abilities that Jesus had. She had to finish teaching the disciples. And she was never recognized by the Catholic or Protestant religion as being that. Mary, the mother of Jesus, was always recognized as the most highest at all because she gave birth to God. She didn't give birth to God. She gave birth to a child. Balls of light, blue balls of light would have came out and all kinds of things if it was a God. People don't know what a God is. Aliens are not gods, but they manage to make mankind believe they are. Do you understand that? I don't think anybody wants to. They rather believe their humdrum, well, I know my truth, and your truth is a lie to yourself. When you're on your dying bed, I would love to be there with you, watch you cross over, and watch what you do and how it acts, how it reacts with you when you do it. A lot of souls are possessed with horrible things, and they stay here, and they become ghosts. If you want to believe in that or not, that's your choice. If you watch TV, well, I don't watch TV, it's all lies. Well, then what do you believe in is truth? Anything? But the stories on TV, the shows showing about spirits and demons and all that, I can go into the explanation of why it's happening right now, but I'm not going to. But it is happening. Demons, entities, spirits are all coming out in a more powerful energy way. Oh, the energy is changing. It is, but not for the benefit of the human race to make us better. You don't become better because somebody else says you're going to be better. And if God wanted us all to be perfect, we all would have been. But sadly, mankind is here to grow, understand what it is, and when it does, it's allowed to go into a higher space. You're in grade school. Not until you get the teaching and knowledge that they want you to have to go into college do you get into college. Well, it's no different, except we're not talking about programmed ideas of how to build a house, a car. We're talking about spiritual energy and the inner worlds and things like that. Go way beyond the idea of building a house or a car. Has nothing to do with either one. Has nothing to do with each other. The same as pyramids aren't going to help mankind find God. It helped aliens. It helped aliens. For what? No benefit purpose. When deities came down to work with people, they were trying, and they realized it didn't work. Deities have ego. Deities are only what they have made and attained of who and what they are of themselves. I'm not saying they're all the same. They're not. No soul is the same as any other soul, or as aware at the same level, at the exact same level of awareness. But people aren't ready for that. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear something stupid like, well, what? No God, no religion, no spirituality. We're just here to die. Why do you think it would be, why do you think it would be created to just die? If it was all going to die, just destroy it all. Why even let it go further? And certain aliens believe that for the human race anyway. Look, I'm not a storyteller. I'm not like 90% of those people out there telling you lies, twisted stories, make-believe stories, and they talk to God. You can come close to God. It will allow you to. But to think it's going to have a conversation with you and tell you love is important? Really? Love isn't important as what we perceive love to be. What is important on this planet right now? Abusing children? Abusing animals? Destroying everything we can? Destroying the inside of the earth? Destroying the outside of the earth? You know, mankind's morals, again, the word morals, have disappeared. So how do you live your life? Well, you can change yourself into anything you want. Half human, half male, half female. Now that they're cloning and mixing animals and humans together, I promise you this, they're going to try to make a human with wings. They will. Why not? Take the biggest bird on the planet, try to genetically code them together, and see if they can put the wings on a person. We have certain birds that are like 26 feet maximum length. I think the one was, or average of the big birds. But the pterodactyl still is alive today, whether people want to believe that or not. So, you know, how far do you want to go in truth? How far do you want to go into the lie? And here's my scenario. Man or women will pay anything for a lie. They will not pay 2 cents for the truth. Because it's easier for a person to believe a lie than believe the truth. Because truth is never what they want it to be. Where a lie, you can mold it into anything you want it to be. And it's always good. Good aliens. Good aliens are going to come help us. Good aliens are going to save us. Really? Look at history. Did the native people ever have good aliens or good angels help them? Ever? 50 million native people were slaughtered in what? 400 years. There's only 3/4 of 1 million native people left in the United States out of 50 million. Do you think those numbers are good or right? And then mankind, white man, and basically had to do with the white man and the Spanish that killed them all. Could they take credit for that? You don't think you created some scenario of karma within a race, within a whole bunch of different things? And never to give them justice back. Give them the freedom and space and the rights that they deserve. They stole the Constitution from them. Do you want truth? Do you want to live in lies? Go to your school and read a book about Native teachings and history. You're not going to understand or learn anything important. You're going to read more lies of white men protecting themselves and people knowing how evil they are. Just so you know, when Christopher Columbus came and they came to the United States, why did they kill the native people? Because they were red-skinned. They were demons and devils. And it made it okay. The same as Moses when he came off the mountain. They're demons. So he had 3,000 killed. You want to read that in the Bible? Did they show that on TV? Or he killed the bad people. What are bad people? People that don't agree with you? All the people that come on the show that don't agree with me, are they bad? No, just not aware. Someday they might want to be. Maybe not in this lifetime. Maybe in 10 lifetimes from now. But people want to live in this programmed, sick, massive hate energy, which Trump is feeding to the max, and trying to destroy everything before he leaves. And then he thinks he'll come back in 4 years to rebuild it again? Really? You know, People like that, he's old. I mean, Biden's old. If Biden dies, we'll have a black woman president. And I know a lot of people already hate the idea of that. Well, she has to be this, yeah. But she's a woman. Women have different emotions than men do. Prove it fact or not, whether you want to believe that or not. They are different. When the person wrote men are from Mars and women are from Venus, was so right on. We're so separate. We're so different. We think so different. And we try to be the same. Women trying to join the army to kill people? Why? Taking their perfectly pure body, pure awareness, and putting it into the negativity of doing drugs out on the battlefield and killing people. Is that how we move forward? Of course not. Morals are supposed to help us move forward, not backwards. So we create laws like protecting everybody, no matter what you feel you are, what you think you are, what you have the right to do. We're free to do whatever we want. You're not free to hurt other people. You're not free to destroy things. No, you're not. Not on this planet. And then when people say, well, he never did anything wrong. It only takes one new thing to go wrong or do something wrong to be doing something wrong. And I'm telling you, these people that get killed and all these things, not all of them. A child in a bedroom gets shot. He didn't do anything, but his past life karma says he can't live here long and he has to start over. See, people don't understand the word karma. They're too brain dead. They don't want to understand the truth. Well, nothing exists. Well, like I said, are you in my bad dream right now? I guess so, because you're in it. But then again, am I in yours? Guess what? You couldn't get me out of your own bad dream. So, we live in a reality where it's constantly changing, but not for the better. I'm running out of time. I don't want to go too much longer. Please, people, I know you have your truth and your ideas and this, that, and the other thing, and you don't want to know the truth. You don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe in aliens. You don't want to believe in ghosts. You don't want to believe in spirits, demons, or any of that stuff. You want to believe in what? Life and death? You live and then you die? Well, what are you supposed to do to have entertainment and fun? In your lifetime, how much percentage of your life is in bliss state? How many periods of time that are you in a perfect state and happy? I don't care how many times you had sex, how many times you ate ice cream and all those things. Put it all together. Then add in all the times you slept, all the times you spent eating, going to the bathroom, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, and all those things all together. Where did it lead you to? All right. When somebody comes on and says, oh, your necklace is horrible, take it off. Do they ever look in the mirror and see their own face? If it's horrible, are they going to take it off? Really? When you attack people, at least have a good reason for doing it, and not because you just think so. If you're going to attack somebody for what they say or do, at least have a solid grounds to stand the fight against it. I was just dealing with somebody I thought was very spiritual until he said the world is flat. We're on a gyro, it keeps it straight, and the water, where's the water stay there? How does it stay there? You have a magnetic force holding it, it would come together. It would be one clump. I mean, all theories, when they're not true, fall away. And everything scientists comes up with falls away in time. But most people are happy in this time frame with the disease spreading around, virus attacking people. We have a couple of different things here in Hawaii. Skin-eating virus, rat lung disease that kill people, different ages, and they eat spinach and they die, or kale. So, there's a lot of things that you might not want to know because you just look at the good side. Oh, everything's good. When you die in bed, say, okay, it's good. You're leaving now. It's all good. And then what? It's all over? Well, I feel sorry for people like that. The same as people that get dementia, Parkinson's, and they lose who they are. Going your whole life trying to find out who you are to lose it before you even do. It's sad. We created a hell. I said, once Atlantis went down, we kept building, creating, and working on making this hell. The gladiator times, how they used to torture each other and what they did. Sacrifice, Egyptians and Mayans and Aztecs all sacrificed women and children. You think they were ever spiritual? You look at the reincarnations in their pyramids and stuff. It's all lies. None of it fits how reincarnation really happens. You don't rip a body apart to reincarnate back into it, if that's what you believed in, even. All right. It's always a pleasure to do my show. I don't care if people like it or not. People don't like the truth. Probably will never like the truth because they don't want to know what it is. But you're free to live in whatever you want to try to live in. But when the government says you can't do this, you can't do that, and you have to do this, you got to do it, or you go to jail. You don't have a choice. So free will is never going to happen. Not as long as mankind has multiple gods, multiple beliefs, and doesn't have a close idea of what the truth is. Listen to these UFO people, and yeah, you'll hear a bunch of stupid, ridiculous stories. But is any of it capable of helping us move forward in any good way? Aliens can't talk about God. Their whole time frame with planet Earth was to make us believe they were God. All right? I mean, the whole story of the, I hate to bring them up, the Sumerian tablets, and then Enki, Anu, and all that, the father of Moses, and all those kind of things. Guess what? Who wrote all that? Aliens can time travel way before we did, and we can. So obviously they can go back in time and change anything they want, whenever they want. Make us find something that we shouldn't have, that was not really there in the first place. So then when we talk about bases on the moon, well, there's bases. I saw videos before the person was put in jail and the videos were taken of bases on the other side of the moon. Mars, I can't say I was on Mars. I saw people on Mars, but all these people coming out say they were on Mars with the president and all these other things. And so what? Is it going to help you or me put our meal on the table tomorrow? People say, well, you look like this. It's not the cover of the book, it's what's in it. And then again, books today don't have anything important inside it. It can make you feel good, make you feel sad, but does it really help you? And help in what way? To survive in hell? Well, I hope I gave you enough stories and ideas and whatever you want to call it to think about. Because this is your life and your death. And hopefully you'll attain what you need to move forward, not backwards. All right. These people that want to talk, I could give them a link to come on anytime. You want to come on live and debate me? That's your choice. Make sure you have something to defend what you believe in. Well, nothing's real. Prove it. Can you prove it's real? I can give you techniques that will prove it to you that it's real. I can help you get a death experience within a short period of time, and you'll understand that you don't die. I mean, those things are real and provable. But saying an alien's going to come and make everybody rich and happy and all that, really? Prove it. Prove they did one thing for the human race. Tesla worked with two alien races. I don't know who they were, really. I'm still trying to find out. But the inventions he gave us right now are destroying the planet. The HARP system. So people, think about it. If you want to be a comedian, go right ahead. You want to be a fool, go right ahead. You want to learn something, please do. It can only help you. It's not going to take you away from your steps in life. It's not going to take you away from being a good person. It might even make you a better person. With that, people, whatever you need in your life, love, compassion, whatever, hope you get it. Hope you look forward to moving forward somewhere in the future into a new space, a better space than whatever you're in right now. And that the world changes to stop the bad things. The things that we are deliberately doing to destroy the planet, not accidents. All right, people. Have a great day, great night, great evening, great morning. Whenever you listen to this show, feel free to send this to anybody. I am open to anybody that wants to come on and talk or debate. I just did a show 2 months ago with Laura Eisenhower. She wouldn't debate me live. People say a lot of things when they're by themselves or when they know people can't attack them. But the second you could be attacked, they fold up and run away. I don't run. I mean, truth doesn't have to hide from anything. You're going to be bombed with everything under the sun, but it can't destroy you. When you don't have the truth, everything can be destroyed. Why do you think these people didn't come back? They leave 2 sentences and they leave because they can't go, well, I'm just going to deny everything. That's a choice. Well, till next time, have a great day, have a great night. Tommy Hawksblood here from the Big Island, Hawaii.